Good evening. Welcome to the April meeting of the Wallingford Board of Education. My name is Mike Votto. I am Vice Chair of the Board and will be conducting this meeting due to the absence of Chairman McKay because of a family emergency. At this time, I would like everybody to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Lavelle, roll call.
Mrs. Castelli?
Here.
Mrs. Corso?
Here.
Ms. Levette?
Here.
Mrs. McKay? Mrs. Purcell?
Here.
Mr. Reynolds?
Here.
Mrs. Raccio?
Here.
Mr. Ross?
Here.
Mr. Votto?
Here.
8 members present and voting.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have student board representatives. Lyman Hall, Audrey, welcome. Let's hear all the fascinating things going on at Lyman Hall.
All right. The Lyman Hall National Honor Society will be teaming up with the New Haven chapter of the University of Notre Dame Alumni Club for our 5th annual Bold Food Drive to benefit local food pantries, including Master's Manna. The drive will be running from April 29th to May 10th. Our 247 student athletes have been keeping up on their academics as a 98.4% of our athletic department has remained academically eligible. April 2nd, we had our international fair from 5:30 to 7:30, and on April 3rd, our girls softball team beat Sheehan 11-9. On Thursday, April 4th, we had our summer job fair for students at the Hubcap. On Friday, April 5th, we had our spring fling. On Tuesday, April 9th, we had a career fair for freshmen and sophomores, and we had 30 community members join us at Lyman Hall to talk about their careers, and we also had our juniors take the SATs. On April 9th, our environmental club also had their eco scavenger hunt where students picked up trash around the school. On April 9th, our girls softball team had their fundraiser, and on the 10th, our boys lacrosse team won against Jonathan Law 21-1. On April 11th, our boys tennis team won 6-1 against East Haven. On April 16th, our golf team defeated Ferran 191-213. The golf team will be at Farms Thursday at 2:30 to take on Sheehan. On April 18th, our girls tennis team had their fundraiser at Chipotle, and they are currently 6-4. Over April break, we had our students travel to Orlando for band, where our chorus students and string students participated in a Disney workshop, and our band students marched down Main Street at Magic Kingdom. Over April break, we also had some students who traveled to Spain for our world language classes and Montana for our ag classes. On May 1st, we will be celebrating our seniors and their post-high school plans with our I've Got Plans Day, and our school play, Peter Pan, will be on May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The first 2 weeks of May, we will also have our AP testing, and coming up on May 8th, we will be having a fair for our seniors who are still developing their post-high school plans. May 10th, our junior prom will take place, and on the 24th, we will have our senior prom. May 17th, Lyman Hall will be hosting the Thrills and Trills Festival for middle school bands to showcase their talents. On the 22nd, we will have our academic awards night, and on the 27th, the Lyman Hall High School marching band will perform in the Memorial Day Parade. May 29th will be our senior scholarship night, and the 31st will be our Pops concert featuring our concert band, jazz band, chorus, and strings. We will have our sports awards night on June 5th, and the second Lyman Hall versus Sheehan doubleheader of the year will be held this Friday night, Sheehan with the girls at 5 and boys at 7. Thank you.
And thank you. That was a lot of stuff. Our representative from Mark T. Sheehan is Marissa Delicia. Hello, Marissa.
Marissa couldn't make it today, and I'm
Okay,
the vice
sorry then.
president. It's okay. I'm the vice president, so I'm just going to be
That's fine.
talking for her today. Good evening. A lot has been going on at Sheehan in the past month. Sheehan sports have been very busy. The winter season wrapped up last month, and we have multiple teams being recognized tonight for their accomplishments. Spring season is in full swing as the teams are almost halfway through their regular season schedule. On April 3rd, both girls and boys lacrosse beat crosstown rival Lyman Hall. Unfortunately, softball fell short, and Lyman Hall ended up with the win. On April 4th, Sheehan had an amazing day with golf, boys and girls tennis, softball, and girls track and field all coming home with a victory. This Friday, Sheehan will host the girls and boys lacrosse doubleheaders versus Lyman Hall with games at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. And some non-sport related news. On April 9th, all juniors took the SAT in school, while the freshmen participated in student-led activities and the sophomores attended a job fair. Also, on April 9th, Samantha Hart and Co. Bolat were both recipients of the Connecticut Association of Schools Outstanding Arts Award winners. On March 27th, Sydney Kareem, as well as myself, were named Sheehan High School recipients of the Southern Connecticut Conference Scholar Leaders Award, which is based off their academic excellence and dedication to the school and community. Over April break, our crew club volunteered at the Trail of Terror cleanup. Our music students flew out to Orlando, Florida, where chorus and string ensemble performed at Disney Springs, and our band marched down Main Street after they spent the week visiting all the different parks, making memories that will last a lifetime. Also, over April break, Sheehan sent many students to Spain. Looking ahead, on Wednesday, April 24th, the seniors will be celebrating their future plans. On Thursday, April 25th, there will be a signing ceremony for seniors who have committed to participating in athletic programs in college. We are looking forward to a strong and exciting finish to the school year. Thank you.
Thank you. See, our high schools are very busy. Dr. Menzo, presentation and awards.
Yes, this evening we have a lot of presentations and awards, so we're going to make sure that we go through this, but not very quickly. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we want to make sure that everybody gets recognized, especially our students, most importantly, because they've worked so very hard, and also our staff that is here and everyone else. So I just want to say this is one of the best nights that we have. Next month, our board meeting is packed with students also, because we recognize all of our students who have received academic awards throughout the year. So this is what we all hope to do at board meetings, is to recognize all of our students and staff who have done just remarkable things for our district. So I hope you can bear with me, and I know that you won't be disappointed when you hear of all the accomplishments that our students have garnered over this past year. But first, we're going to start with something that should have probably happened last month. I shouldn't say should have probably. It should have happened last month. However, we had several board members who couldn't be at our board meeting. March is known as Board of Education Member Month, and it's Appreciation Month for Board of Education members for their hard work, their tireless effort that they do on a voluntary basis for our community. Some boards of education in the United States actually get paid for their service. In Wallingford, as well as many other towns and communities throughout Connecticut, board members do not get paid. They get elected, and they serve on average between at least 3 to 5, if not more, hours a week with the meetings they have. I have to say right now, we're trying to navigate meetings starting this week from now until the end of the school year, and it's virtually impossible to find a night because all of our board members are out, be it at meetings or activities or trying to represent our school district in the best possible way. So as a token of appreciation for our board members, each year I started a tradition now 10 years ago. We purchase a book in their name to one of the libraries in the school. I often try to match a little bit about the book and the personality of the board member. I won't go into great details because some of it could be embarrassing for them, not me. But they usually get the joke when they read either the back cover or the title or a little bit about it. But I just want to say on behalf of Central Office, on behalf of the administrative team, and I think I can speak on behalf of all of our staff, students, and families, we thank you. Your jobs are thankless in many ways. You don't make everybody happy. Sometimes unfortunately, we do make people not happy with us because we have to make tough decisions, but always at the focus of your decisions are the students. And I think that's the key thing. Students have always been first with this Board of Education and always will be first with this Board of Education. So don't deny that fact. No one can deny that fact. And don't ever doubt yourself that you don't put children first, because I know you do. These individuals, they tolerate my emails on the weekends, my text messages on the weekends, and we have to update them on different things. They're phenomenal, but they're also a family. And I think that's the most important part. As a superintendent, you stay in a place not because it's easy, but because you like the people that you're working with and you feel respected by those people and you feel that you want to do your best for a group of people. And that's why I'm still here, is because I want to do my best for them and also our students and families in the community. So I thank you very much for all you've done. And I'm not going to titles because I don't want to embarrass people. But Ms. Latour is going to help me pass out the books. And again, These are then put in the school library so our students can get these books. So we want to make sure it's a gift that keeps giving. Library and literacy, the libraries in our district and literacy is so important to our board members, and we feel that it's important to give back in that manner. So again, thank you very, very much for all that you do, and we appreciate it. So if everyone wouldn't mind giving a round of applause to our board members. I'm already getting pointed at and snickers and because I have fun personally when I get the titles, sitting down and figuring it all out. So again, see, I knew I'd get a couple laughs.
I have to share.
I don't understand
I'm sorry.
why.
I have to share. I get this one. Louisiana's way home. I have no sense of direction.
We sit in a lot of negotiation meetings and Kathy, I won't go into detail.
That's okay.
But as you can tell, we know a lot about each other and we care about each other deeply, and that resonates, I believe, in the work that we do as a school district for the students and families. So again, thank you for everything that you do. I truly appreciate your support. Our next award this evening is that we're going to recognize our Teacher of the Year for the whole state of Connecticut for adult education. We're very, very fortunate to have the Teacher of the Year, and this is the second time during my tenure of 10 years in Wallingford Public Schools that we've had this designation to our adult education program. And before I call up the director, Ms. Sashi Govin, to introduce the teacher, I do want to share our adult education program. If you don't know about this program, and if you happen to have a person in your life who would like to extend their learning or go back to school and get additional opportunities, this program is second to none in the state of Connecticut. We are well known throughout the whole state because we offer 3 diploma options for students who have not received their high school diploma. But we also go beyond that. We have citizenship. We also have English language learner opportunities. We have a program that's going to be highlighted in a brief video that really shows the hard work that our district does in this area, and we should be commended as a community, not just as a school district, but as a community for supporting these programs. And the staff at adult education, from the teachers to counselors to all the assistants and director, we're phenomenally grateful for their hard work. So at this time, I'd like to call up Ms. Sashi Govin, who will then introduce our Connecticut State Teacher of the Year for Adult Education. And I'm sure I didn't get it right because it's a long title, but it's the essence of it. So Ms. Govin?
Thank you, Dr. Menzo. It is Connecticut Adult and Continuing Education. So it's called CASE. It's really close. Dr. Menzo really summed up what we do at adult education really nicely. And a lot of thanks goes to the Board of Ed for their unwavering support, and also to our mayor, who's given us a building where it's right smack in the center of town for our students to come to school, regardless of whether they have a vehicle, whether they can just walk to our building. As he mentioned, we offer English language to people who are new to the country. We offer citizenship. We also offer various diploma programs. Our Teacher of the Year, Laurie Ouellette, who I'm just going to call to come right here. Don't go, stay right here. Okay. Laurie's been with us for more than 20 years. She is one that's done everything. She does the National External Diploma Program, which is, she's the coordinator for that. And most recently, how many years have you been doing the civics grant? 8, 9 years, okay. It's called Integrated English Language Arts and Civics Education. It's a federal grant where we have the higher level ESL students who are still not native speakers of English. They learn English and they learn civics towards citizenship. And what she's done with these students is phenomenal. She's embedded all the digital skills for them so they could be ready for the workforce. These are mothers who have toddlers to middle school students, and they come every single day because of Laurie's persistence. She calls them, she emails them, and she makes it so her lessons are very creative, fun, and they know the value of what they're learning because it goes above and beyond just in the classroom. So I would like to show you just a 3-minute video of what our students, who are all non-speakers of English, have done. This is the first time they have presented at a state conference. We've never had students present at a state conference, and students presented. So I just want you to see
Topic,
this.
and what you're seeing is a finished product that they have worked on for a while using Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Translate, Gmail, Google Images, Google everything. But they have been fantastic this year. I joined this class to learn American English. And from day one, I started to learn about Google Apps that I haven't tried them before. And I think they make our lives so much easier. First of all, I make a research and I put all the data to the Google Sheets. And then I try to figure out a visual presentation. And one more. Here are the 44 presidents from 1789 till today during 45 presidencies.
Registered at Wallingford Adult Education, ESL class and American Living class. In 2017, my daughter was born and her rifle needs coverage to continue with my education, even I have a little time. Shortly after that, Wallingford Adult Education announced the babysitting service. That was good news for me. I think you can see how much I like Wallingford Adult Education, especially the career teachers. I will keep on working hard and hope to continue my college courses when my daughter Anita is older, and I will be looking for a part-time job. Another national symbol is the Great Wall. It is about 2,232 years old.
I started in the civics program in December of 2017. I just completed an 8-week medical interpreter course using my Spanish and English skills. What I like about Google Apps is that it's easy to access. There is no need to worry about saving. It saves automatically. I have done 3 presentations in Google Slides. For my medical interpreter course, I was required to do this slide both in English and Spanish. These are the grandma's home remedies. Mexican grandmothers, abuelas, are the heart of the family. They pass down their wisdom. I'll give you an example. Here are the grandma's famous teas. We have for the cough, garlic with cinnamon and oregano with honey. For the stomach ache, chamomile or peppermint.
Today I want to say about myself. I work from Jordan. I came to United States 7 years ago. I started taking this class last year in another location, and there was no technology and we could rarely use the computers. The classes were really good, but like classic and traditional. So this year we moved to Adult Learning Center. I noticed a lot of differences, especially with technology. The population, Jordan also, it has a very few people, like just 10 million people, around 10 million, while in the USA it's 328 million around people. But
As you can see, I don't think I can go to Germany or China and be able to speak or present in German or in Mandarin, but they have all done that thanks to Laurie's skill. And I have one of the students here. Manolia, come on over here. She's one of our students from Turkey who did the spreadsheets. They learned every single Google app and they've incorporated it, and they're probably going to be teaching some of our teachers. So thank you all.
All right. Next, we're going to honor 3 teachers who have gotten an interesting distinction. There's a group, the Dahlia Foundation, which I'm not sure you're aware of, but they were in the news recently. They made a huge splash by giving $100 million to the state of Connecticut to work in urban settings to increase outcomes for students. But there is supposed to be a small portion of money for suburban settings in the area of workforce development, so you can trust them on that. But the fact is, they also offer funding for students, for teachers. It's called Funds for Teachers, and it allows teachers to travel over the course of the summer. It's not purely just for pleasure and entertainment. What it is the teachers have to fill out a very, very complicated application, and they have to then be chosen to do some educational research and make a commitment to come back to our school district to offer those that information with others to other staff members or to implement it within their classroom. I have to say, over the last several years, we've had close to a dozen teachers who have participated in this Funds for Teachers program. That's a great honor. Because not every teacher gets selected. This is not just because you put in an application, you get it. Not everybody gets a ribbon or a medal or certificate. This is competitive because they're fully funding the teacher's trip to wherever they choose to travel to study. So at this time, I'd like to bring up 3 principals to help give out the awards or gifts to our 3 teachers that will be traveling this summer. First, Mr. Enzo Zacco, we have Christina Kiley, and Ms. Kristen Valero. Mr. Zacco is the principal of Mark Sheehan High School. Ms. Kiley is the principal of Stevens Elementary School, and Ms. Valero is the principal of Pond Hill Elementary School. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Zacco first.
Well, I had the honor of surprising Ms. Watrous the week before vacation. So the organization had emailed me and said that they wanted to present this award, and that I was supposed to keep it a secret from her, which I did. And then they came into the school, and this is how classy and what a great reputation this organization has. And then we went into her classroom and surprised her. And so she has been funded to on this wonderful trip. And Ms. Watrous, you're welcome to eventually give a little more elaboration to go out to a national park and to do research on prey and predator relationships out in Yellowstone National Park. So what an incredible experience for her this summer.
Recipients decided to put together a little travel bag. So you need to be hydrated. All right. You always need to have chocolate. And you actually need more than just one thing of chocolate when you travel with me. You also have to balance the sweet with the salt. Okay, that's an important tidbit. And last but not least, gum, so if your ears pop, you got to get that. Plus, we want to make sure you have good breath for the rest of the group, because you got to represent Wallingford well. But so just a little something for you, and I'll put this back. And Miss Kiley, would you like to call up our next?
Okay, so our next recipient is Caroline Campbell, and we too surprised Caroline. It happened to be a day where we had an early release because of parent conferences, so I made sure to not spoil it, but to tell her, please stop by the office before you go, because I knew that they would be arriving to greet and to tell Caroline the exciting news around the time that conferences were over and at the conclusion of our day. So needless to say, it worked out perfectly that her conference was finishing up as they had arrived, and we were able to surprise Caroline with, they had a backpack full of a few goodies for the trip that she'll be taking this summer to Ecuador, where she'll be learning a lot about the culture there and the classroom environments there, and she's excited to bring back all her new learning to our students. She works with some different students that are from Ecuador, so she's really going to be able to make those great connections, but also bring back her new learning to not just the students and families, but to our staff at Stevens. So we're very excited and honored, and congratulations, Caroline.
So I too got a phone call over the weekend, or an email over the weekend, to know that Mrs. Barbara Minutilla would also be the recipient of this great award. And then for an entire week, I avoided Barb. Barb would walk into the office, I would pick up my phone and pretend that I was talking so as not to have a conversation with her and ruin the surprise. And the day came and they called and said, we're running late, we may not make it before she leaves. So we got a whole bunch of kids and staff together and we surprised Barb in her room, and she had just hung up with her daughter to say, I don't know if I got it because today was the day and nobody has contacted me yet. And in came all of her students, her English language learners, to surprise her that she too was the recipient of a trip to Ecuador. We couldn't be more proud and we are very excited for what you bring back to Pond Hill School. So congratulations, Barb.
So again, this is a great opportunity. Not only do we have students who are traveling internationally, but to getting our teachers out there nationally and internationally, connecting with people outside of our community is always a phenomenal thing. So congratulations and thank you for stepping up to take the challenge of applying, because not everybody gets the award. And not everyone gets the opportunity to travel. So it's a great tribute to yourselves and to our district. So thank you again, and we wish you safe travels. But you still have 36 school days left. Just saying. But who's counting, right? Who's counting, people? All right. So our next recipients that we have, and I'm looking for Miss Burkett, Patty Burkett. There you are. If you could come on up, and you could share a little bit about our next set of awards. These are the HOSA awards. These awards are for our medical career students, and Miss Burkett is much more articulate on this topic and articulate than I am.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce the medalists who recently competed at the 14th Annual HOSA Spring Leadership Conference, which was held March 9th at Waterbury Career Academy. We had over 13 students compete for medals in various skills competitions, including medical spelling, medical reading, medical math, many allied health competitions. There were skills competitions, knowledge-based competitions. I'd like to introduce Shreya Patel, who won first place in medical reading, where she had to read a series of medical books and take a computer-based test for some of the literature that she learned. And she received a first place medal. So we congratulate Shreya. Shreya will be attending UConn in the fall for biomedical sciences, pre-med, physiology, and neurobiology. So congratulations, Shreya. We're so proud of you. Next, I would like to introduce Sirvani. I always have difficulty pronouncing this name, Agnihotram. Sirvani participated in the pathophysiology skills knowledge-based computer competition, where she received a second place medal in pathophysiology. Congratulations, Sirvani. Sirvani is also a senior, and next year will be attending, undecided at this point, but, decided, okay. She's going to be attending UConn for pre-med. Congratulations. Our third medalist is Grace Young. Grace can't be with us tonight. She is at driver's ed, but we're very proud of Grace. She received a medal in medical spelling, where she had to take a multiple choice test related to medical spelling words, and then entered a spelling bee. And she received a second place medal for the medical spelling skill competition. So we congratulate Grace. And last but not least, we have Hannah Yother. Hannah is our HOSA president. She's been our president for the past 2 years, has done an excellent job. Hannah has also received a third place medal in the pathophysiology competition, and in the fall will be attending Simmons College in Boston for nursing. So congratulations, Hannah.
I just want to congratulate you as well as Ms. Burkett. If you do not know about our medical careers program and you have children that are coming through the system, especially our young little citizens here tonight, this is a phenomenal program at Mark T. Sheehan High School that is offered to both students at Lyman Hall and Sheehan. So you don't have to be a Sheehan student to participate. You can go from either school. And we actually are hopeful that we'll have a third level of coursework. Medical careers, as you know, is it's very important to our society, and there's an increased need for all levels of medical practitioners. And we're very fortunate that we have a very strong program, and we have great partnerships with Masonic Care, Gaylord Hospital, and Midstate, Gaylord in particular, and Masonic, really giving our students an amazing amount of clinical hours to support their work and their service and their development. So we thank you, we congratulate you. You did a great job, and thank you again. So have a good evening. Our next set of awards are, we go from oldest now to the youngest in the crowd. We're going to go to our Invention Convention recipients, award recipients. At this time, I'm going to invite up Ms. Valentine, if you could come on up. And I know Mr. Bakakis is here tonight as well. So we wanted to say, Mr. Bakakis, thank you very much. Mr. Bakakis is the step teacher at Dag Hammarskjöld Middle School and has been a phenomenal supportive person, which I know you probably could allude to more, but just incredibly supportive and just epitomizes what you'd want in a person to support Invention Convention. Has that mindset of one that's a problem finder, but then also doesn't just just get caught up and mired in the problem, actually solves problems and works very hard on behalf of his students and staff. So we thank you for all your hard work. But I'm going to turn it over to you because you know all your little cherubs.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Invention Convention. Do you have the list or do I have a list? I have a list. All right. Thank you. Invention Convention was wonderful. We had 105 participants among all of our schools, and we had many organizations that came and gave awards evening. So we're going to start up here. We have state finals coming up a week from Saturday at UConn, so it's very exciting. Our state finalists, when we read your name, you can come on down. Wood. Congratulations. Addison Baltramitis. Nicholas Kent. And Nicholas also was given the Allnex Innovation Award and a Research Award from the Wallingford Library, as well as Perseverance Award. Evan Furdick. Evan. There he is. We'll spread out as we go, I think. Daniel Fernandez. Logan DeBook, and she also won a Perseverance Award. Isabel Hodum. And Isabel also won a ribbon from Allnex Technology Award. Charlie Walton. And Charlie also won a ribbon for the Connecticut STEM Academy and a Perseverance Award. Charlie's not here tonight. Give him a hand. Allison Shipman. Allison Fire Safety Award. Drew Biller. And Drew also won a ribbon for Allnex for innovation. And Charlie Elliott. Jordan Johnson, and Jordan also Wallingford Fire Safety Award. Anna Loesch, who also won a ribbon for Allnex Technology. And also going to states, last but not least, Tristan Serenas, who also won our Superintendent First Century Thinking. Other award winners, Tomashik, ribbon for Superintendent 21st Century Thinking. Del Greco for Superintendent's Award for 21st Century Thinking. Dylan West, who won the Gaylord Health and Safety Award, and a ribbon for the Superintendent's Award for 21st Century Thinking. Carly Ortiz, the Allnex Technology Award. Ishan Pandey, the Allnex Technology and a Perseverance Award. Jackson Thomas, a ribbon for Allnex Innovation. Patrick Giametti, a ribbon for Allnex Innovation and a Perseverance Award. Devon Kapoor, Gaylord Health and Safety Award. Stella Gannon won our Amphenol Engineering Award. Dana Whitman, a ribbon for Amphenol Engineering. Braden Miller, a ribbon for Amphenol Engineering. Logan Alvarez, a ribbon for Amphenol Engineering. Quinn Murphy, our Connecticut STEM Award winner. Georgia Scott, ribbon for the Connecticut STEM Academy and a Perseverance Award. Isa Granoso, ribbon from the Connecticut STEM Academy. Taylor Shipman, Perseverance Award. And Zabby Weigert, a Perseverance Award. Congratulations.
Again, just congratulations to all of you on your hard work. I also want to, as I said that night, thank all the parents for your support and all the families, because this is not an easy thing to accomplish, but your innovation definitely was amazing. So thank you for that. We are very fortunate past recipients from this award have gone on and done great things nationally. We have Audrey Larson, who is our student in the audience, who is the Lyman Hall rep tonight. She's done very, very well. She actually is on the board of directors for Invention Convention, and I walked into an event a few weeks back. It was for Women in Innovation, and there's Audrey, representing Wallingford Public Schools for her innovation and her talent. So I know many of you will be following in her footsteps, as well as many that came before her. But I want to thank Ms. Valentin for all of her hard work also, and congratulations to all of you. So thank you very much. Hey, you can go back. Thank you guys. Be careful. So now we're going to move into the athletic portion of our evening. We had a wild winter in Wallingford, not based on Mother Nature, thank goodness, hence the last day of school being June 13th. However, based on the incredible athletic talent of so many students at both high schools, we are so fortunate, and I know many of you know it was not an easy season to be someone who has to be impartial. That's for certain. But we have so much to be proud of. And no matter how things turned out, this community came together around so many of our students, so many of our talented students this past winter. And I just want to say congratulations to all of the recipients of the awards that are coming up. You made us proud. As I shared at one of the hockey banquets, when it came to the hockey, that's difficult. Having two teams playing each other could get a little contentious. But if anyone who was there saw the end of that game, our athletes demonstrated impeccable sportsmanship. I think that hopefully every adult in the arena was taking note of how our young men acted that evening. Because many of us, including myself when I'm watching the Yankees lose, I don't necessarily have the same poise and composure that our students had that evening. So I think there's a tribute to them as well as their parents, because they came from somewhere. Their parents, their grandparents, help them be as successful in terms of handling that situation in that tough times. But our girls, I was at Mohegan Sun. Unfortunately, the injury, I think, played part. But you guys did an amazing job, ladies. You did an awesome, awesome job. I was so proud of you. I don't think many people recognized me until about the second half, because I was wearing jeans and I didn't have a tie on. So I was a little boisterous the first half, and then I had to calm it down a little the second half because people were looking. But I just really can't thank you enough for doing all that you did. I mean, think about it. Where you were seated and then where you ended up, that was perseverance. That was persistence. That was a great coach. That was everything coming together as a team. So we can't thank you enough for that. We also have swim, the swim team. breaking some records, doing some amazing things this year. We've been really fortunate in Wallingford. As I said, many districts go years without even having one team getting far in the playoffs, never minding having all of you do so well. And again, I go back to Ingles Rink on that night. I think probably the second proudest moment for me, and I don't think I was the only one because I was standing with the mayor, was the national anthem. Does everybody remember the national anthem that night? How everybody was singing that really loudly? That was a wonderful moment. That was a really cool moment. I don't know, maybe I'm a geek, but I just thought that was a really cool moment, everybody coming together. So I just want to say thank you again to our athletes. Before we call you up, I'm going to have Mr. Daly come up first to help recognize athletes, and the coaches will come up also. But thank you so much. And I don't know, Mr. Votto, do you want to say any words on behalf of the board?
Well, you mostly echoed everything I wanted to say. I think with sports, it's so important, the word team. And I think as a team, when you work with each other, you help each other. And I think that's what gets you to where you've gotten. And I think that's a great thing. And I think you do the Wallingford Board of Education proud. And you make us very proud of the things that you do for us. So again, congratulations to everyone. Anybody else on the board like to say anything? Thank you.
All right, Mr. Daly, do you want to come up? And Mr. Busillo, would you like to come up? And we're going to embarrass Mr. Busillo. Many of you, I know his athletes know this and their families, but he was the New Haven Tap-Off Club Coach of the Year as well. So congratulations.
No, go ahead. Whenever you need me to speak, I'll speak. Mr. Busillo's never declined a microphone before. That was odd. But thank you to Board of Education for giving us the opportunity to be recognized tonight. Thank you, Sal, for that introduction. I think you epitomized, what it means to be a student athlete and how proud we were of all of our students, in that championship week at Sheehan High School. One thing, I think that all three of the teams that are being recognized, and we're going to recognize girls basketball first here, but girls basketball, boys swim, hockey, one thing that they all kind of had in common throughout the full season that was very visible to me is that, that tightness that they had amongst their team, that family atmosphere. And that doesn't just happen. That is created by coaches setting high goals, setting a plan to accomplish those goals, players, captains, leaders of the team buying into those goals, and then literally every single day pouring your heart into accomplishing those goals. And sometimes you can accomplish them and sometimes you can't, but going through that process together is the most rewarding thing of all. And that's why at the end of the season, when you're able to call yourselves, I'll call each other brothers and sisters, it's because you went through that process together, and that's going to be the most memorable thing about going through the run that you guys had. So thank you for representing Sheehan so well and for really buying into those goals and going through that process together with us. So at this time, I'm going to hand the mic over to Coach Mike Busillo.
First off, thank you, Dr. Menzo. Thank you, Board of Education, for recognizing after what was a very great, satisfying season. Enzo, your first year, so you brought a lot of luck with you, and hopefully it continues next year. And Chris Daly, who is very supportive of us throughout the year, I truly appreciate it. One of the things that was great for us is, or me personally, I've been doing this for 23 years now, and we don't usually talk about toughness with female athletes, but I will put those athletes that I have as far as toughness up with everybody. Look like, and, Dr. Menzo kind of alluded to it when he was screaming in the first half. It was because we were getting our butts kicked. But we came back and outscored Cromwell 23-5 over about a 10-minute period and took a lead late. They made some plays late, which won the game for them. So, but had nothing to do with the amount of effort we put in and the toughness we displayed. I'm just really proud of them, and I'll introduce them now, and that's Caroline DeGello. Mackenzie Hemstock. Alyssa Horobin, Madison Horobin, Caitlin Hunt, Haley Lagasse, Dempsey LaJoy, Maddie Larkin, Jana McKenzie, Mia Mills, Jocelyn Petrillo, Olivia Robles, Sydney Versace, Molly Smolinski, and Caitlin Velez. Thank you.
The next team that we are recognizing tonight is our boys swim team, and they were recognized for winning the SEC Division II regular season championship. Champions, excuse me. They were undefeated all regular season, back-to-back years. Truly, just over the last couple of years, to see the leadership of the team amongst the student athletes, the upperclassmen. You know, we had a really strong core group of seniors that we're really going to miss. I'll let Coach talk about them in a little bit. But it was really just great to see this team come together and compete their best at the end of the season when it mattered the most. Led by Coach Keith Cargan, who I want to call up right now. And Coach Cargan was voted by the SEC coaches as the SEC Division II Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Coach.
I was not prepared to make a speech tonight, but thank you to everybody. It's been a great ride at Sheehan Boys Swimming and Diving, and we were lucky enough to be defending champions this year. We won the Division II championship back-to-back years. Very proud of everybody, and we're going to call you up now, one at a time. Logan Adams, Callan Bowman, Andrew Bueller, J.D. Conti, Adam DiDomenico, Esh, Aaron Gamble, Maggie McComish, Adam Shoshani, Zach Silvestri, Joe Stone, Billy Syme, Gabe Wells, Evan Wilkinson, Joey Zellner, RJ Zellner, and Marley Esch.
Congratulations.
One more thing, I'd also like to add that the SEC Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year also went to Andrew Bueller, who in 4 years was never defeated in his event, which is the 1 meter diving. So he went all 4 years without being beaten in his event. Multiple state champion and multiple SEC champion.
You're all set. Thank you guys. Congratulations.
So the next team that we are recognizing tonight had another tremendous year. They were back-to-back conference tournament champions, which is in hockey, the Southern Connecticut Conference and the Southwest Conference merged for their conference. So they were able to win that conference tournament 2 years in a row. And as Dr. Menzo alluded to, our season culminated in one of the best high school athletic atmospheres I've ever been a part of at Ingalls Rink. Congratulations to the Trojans, who will be recognized after us on their victory and on their championship. It was just a tremendous experience to be able to play in that sort of atmosphere. The only way I described it is for anyone who wasn't there, if you've ever been to a Powder Puff game, it's like take that Powder Puff game and put it inside of Ingalls Rink, and that's basically what it was. It was absolutely amazing, and I'd like to call up Coach Dave Festa, who led the Titans on another great season.
Much slower. So first off, I want to thank you, Board of Ed, for having us. Dr. Menzo, thank you. Certainly a special thank you to Principal Zacco for her first year here. Hopefully we made you proud this year, and all the support from Mr. Daly this year. Dr. Menzo talked about a little bit about hockey, and if you're not part of kind of hockey, it's that little community that you that there's a huge sense of knowing and or being together. And obviously culminating at the last game at Ingalls Rink was certainly an experience that we'll never forget. You know, certainly it's something that will take, you know, years to get over. But, you know, certainly congratulations to all the award winners tonight. And so thank you again. So for our award winners tonight, our players that are here, we have Dayton Aldridge. Remo Capello, Brendan Connery, Anthony DeFilio, Jake Festa, Luke Festa, Andrew Guy, right here, now with us, Dylan Hennessy, Brendan Holinsky, Aiden Koenig, Annalise Keurig, Devin Napoli, Hunter Pirelli, Mike Petroselli, Joey Ricco, Tyler Robertson, Anthony Romano, Joseph Romano, back there. Anthony Citro, Nicholas Spina, and James Stratton. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you guys for everything. I know a lot of your teammates are playing lacrosse tonight, so that's sometimes what you guys do as hockey players. You do those two sports. But the fact is, so I know that they would have liked to have been here, but unfortunately couldn't because they're representing Sheen doing that. So again, congratulations. I hope I have to wear my t-shirt every year for the rest of the years that I'm here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the half Lyman Hall, half Sheehan t-shirt, and I want to wear it every season from now on, all right? And whatever happens at the last game happens, but I want to be wearing that t-shirt every every year, every season, every sport from this point forward. So, and thank you for letting me wear that for the first time. All right. Last, but certainly not least, the time has come for us to recognize Lyman Hall, and this is a mouthful, the Lyman Hall Haddam Killingworth Coggins-Shog hockey team. Now, I am only going to say that full name once, sorry, but I just want to say again, congratulations to all of our young men on Lyman Hall. As I just said, you made us very, very proud. You had a good season leading up to the tournament, and then you parlayed that into the greatest success of all. So congratulations for your hard work. I know all of our hockey players, 5 o'clock in the morning, when I'm getting up to just go downstairs to try to do a little bit of elliptical before I come to work, you guys are already at the rink, having egg and cheese sandwiches, which I don't have, unfortunately, but I'd be happy if you guys want to deliver those. But congratulations for everything that you've done and what you've brought to this school and to the district. And Mr. Corso is here, and I don't believe Mr. Baker is. Okay, so Mr. Corso, principal of Lyman Hall.
Congratulations to all the award winners tonight. That was really amazing. To see how many students got honored, it really is a tremendous success for those students who have worked really hard. On behalf of Mr. Baker and Coach Minix, who could not be here, for those of you that don't know, Coach Minix did resign. He stepped out on top, which too many athletes don't do nowadays. But he did. He's a newly minted father who's going to spend some time with his new child. So we can't blame him for that. We want to thank him for what he's done for our program and bringing our guys here to the top. So I've been a part of a lot of athletic events over my time, from being a player to a coach to an administrator. And I will tell you that that night was, other than maybe the Ohio State game that I went to once, where there was 100,000 people screaming the way we were that night, that was one of the most amazing events that I had been to. When I walked in, there were a few Sheehan former players with their Letterman jacket, and by former, I mean much older, and Lyman Hall letter jackets around from players that were there from years ago. It was amazing to see the community turn out, and it was just a fantastic event. It really was. Congratulations to Sheehan for having such a fabulous season, and obviously congratulations to our boys here who just put it all together and played an amazing game and took home the state championship. So on behalf of Lyman Hall, Mr. Votto, we'd like to present the board with this plaque. So thank you for your support and for the season. And Dr. Menzo, I think at this point we could call up some student athletes. Let's get Coach, who's here? Coach Minix is not here. I just want to see, I think we have Coach Sagnella and Coach Lilly. Come on up. All right, let's do it. By all means, I'll put you on the spot and I'll read the names.
All right, I was definitely not prepared to speak today. Okay, I'm just going to read names. I'll keep it nice and short. Congratulations to everyone. As you all know, having both Wallingford teams is more than a feat to be in the state championship. Luckily, we're on the fun end of it, but it's definitely something to look forward to for the future for all of Wallingford. So, Zachary Albert. Zachary? No Zachary. We got TJ Arduini. John, I never pronounced you by your full last name, so I'm going to go with Baldy. John Baldy. Ryan Brockett. Aiden Brookie. Nathan Kanata. Connor Chortis. Dylan Serino. George DiNapoli. Sean Fitzsimmons. Colin Fitzsimmons. Tyler Florio. Zach Hines. TJ Carmichael. Jack Lyon. Josiah Martinez. Ryan Nemec. Michael O'Toole. Matt Pettit. Chris Racky. Thomas Ralston. Brendan Reddington. Jack Roberts. Kyle Roberts. Andrew Sacco. Connor Satin. Matt Smith. Colin Stoddard. Kevin Stoddard. Eden Strahowski. Nicholas Borelli. Okay. Matthew Borelli. Travis, I never called you by your last name, so big old Trav, come on up. Eden Weir. And then Ethan Zukowski.
All right, Mr. Votto, any comments? All right, so again, just congratulations, guys. I think everything has been said, but again, we cannot thank you enough for your hard work. This is a major accomplishment, well deserved, well played, and again, thank you so much for representing us so well in the whole town. So congratulations, and again, to your families as well. So thank you. Have a good night. All right, the last one has to get recognized. I just have to come over here. All right, so this is for someone who's gonna kill me tomorrow, but this Wednesday is Administrative Assistance Day, and I wanna recognize my administrative assistant, who is gonna kill me, as I said, but Linda Lavelle. I just have to say there's always someone who pulls things together, and this is a person who's incredible. If you've ever spoken to her patience, her poise, she getting mad makes me look like I stubbed my toe. You know, she has such an even personality. The other thing I just want to say is that when I first started this position, I had two administrative assistants. Most schools and most businesses, or most of the offices in the town, have at least two administrative assistants for one person in a senior role. When my first administrative assistant retired, I talked to Linda and I said, can we do this with just one person? Can we make this work with just you because of the financial situation in the district and the town? And rather than cutting a teacher or cutting a program, can we make this work with just you? And for the last few years, she's done that with a remarkable poise, exceptional talent, and I can't thank her enough for everything she does. So I'm totally embarrassing you, but come on up. You're welcome. I pulled it off, so that was good. So those are the awards for the evening. Thank you everyone for coming for those.
Linda, I would just like to say thank you from the Board of Education, too.
Thanks, Linda.
I'm sure everybody here feels the same.
Yeah.
Because she's actually our secretary.
Yeah.
At this time, the board will continue with its meeting. You are welcome to stay, but if you're planning on leaving early, this might be the time to go. It's up to you. Thank you. I'll wait till they move on.
Public questions. It shouldn't say
I wonder if he really,
no answer.
by saying he's going to still wear the t-shirt with both hands on, he's saying that he endorses two high school. Could be misconstrued.
You're exactly right. You want me to make the executive session thing?
No, I got to do a public question first.
No, but I mean after that. Okay. I'll just go right into it after that.
Okay, at this time, we have public question and answer period. Does anybody have a question or a statement for the board? Any questions? Yes? Come on up to the mic. State your name and address, please. Why don't you wait until...
My name is Adelaide Koper. I live on 35 Whiffletree Road. I still have 2 kids in the system. You might remember me, I think 2 months ago, I was asking you about the oil tank replacements. Since then, I've been meeting with Mark from the facilities, and I've been peppering him with questions and suggestions, and I actually want to take the opportunity tonight to expand on that and follow up and ask you again. I've been reading, done a little reading. I've found some numbers in the budget. I hope I got it somewhat right. And a lot of other numbers and stuff allow me to use my cheat sheet here. So the operating budget for 2019 and 20, if I read it right, lists about 1.14 million for utilities, electric, water, and gas, 1.1 something for heat, and another 1.8 million for repairs and maintenance. So that's roughly a total of over $4 million for the coming year. If we extend that for the next 3 years, that would be about $12.5 or $30 million just to keep the lights on and the heat and the air condition running as far as we have it. So the question is, what if we could reduce these operating energy costs by, let's say, 30 to 50%? Then the strategic plan, and I'm still based on the red book that was handed out, I think 2 months ago. You might have updated numbers and I might not be up to date, but anyway. What I found is almost $9 million in energy-related capital projects over the next 3 years. About $3.5 million for AC-related updates, almost 2 of them for the elementary schools. Then $2 million for heating updates, almost 1 of that for a new boiler at Lemon Hall. And then $3 million for what I call, or what the building guys call, the building envelope, like roofs, siding, windows. About $1 million goes to the middle school windows on both middle schools. Then there's some lighting and other things, but that's just the rough numbers. So again, the question is, what if we could wrap all these projects together into one comprehensive plan that over time, let's say 10 years or so, leads us toward this 30 to 50% reduction in energy operating costs? What if we start planning now towards an ultra-low or even net zero energy system for our schools? And I've been reading a lot. There are net zero schools, which means they use a lot less energy because they have super efficient systems, and the little energy that they still use, they generate themselves with renewables like solar, geothermal, maybe even wind and storage. So I respectfully ask the board to, number one, ask for an energy audit. I'm not quite sure when the last one was done, but it seems like it's been a few years, for the district and for the individual schools. And then possibly a feasibility study. Can we get towards this goal of a low energy or even net zero energy school? Number two, adopt a clear energy efficiency goal. Then number three, request a comprehensive strategic plan. We have an awesome strategic plan for 5 areas so far. And I want to suggest, let's make it a 6th strategic goal, energy system, energy efficiency. Number 4, make sure any further updates for the elementary schools or any further steps for the middle and high schools, what you are going to be discussing later on tonight. Let's make sure any of those undertakings incorporate such an energy efficiency measures and are based on criteria like either the Northeast Collaborative for High Performing Schools, NECHPS, or the Department of Energy's feasibility study for zero energy K-12 schools, or the International Energy Conservation Code, or any similar energy efficient building code. Start with the energy audit, please, and as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, statements? Go ahead.
I would just like to thank Mrs. Kofer because she certainly
did her homework.
Well, and she's just incredible to work with. I have to say, I've known her all my 10 years here, and she never comes to you with just a problem. She comes with a ton of solutions, and I can't thank her enough for that. The energy audit is going to come to you as a recommendation as we continue throughout the school year. We just have to get through the budget process. But Mr. Teptula, and actually Ms. Kofer knows this too, that we were going to make the recommendation like we had done back prior to my arrival, 2008-9, but then I followed it through until 2011 when it was completed. That's how we got the roofing project and other things done. But we want to make the audit. I think the thing that what we're looking at is most likely doing a 2-part bid. We like 2-part bids for the audit firm and incorporate it into it, their assistance in helping develop that strategic plan that Ms. Kofer mentioned, because the level of expertise that I could speak for myself, I can't speak for Mr. Teptula, but my level of expertise on all of these different systems that's not where my expertise lies. So if we were to look at a systemic approach, building into it not just an energy efficient audit, which was done in the past, but actually ratcheting it up a notch and look at it in terms of a long-term plan that would come from that, which we could definitely build into a 2-part bid. That's the advantage of the 2-part bid, which you all know. We could put the criteria, and then we do interviews of those particular groups that bid on it, and then you open the monetary portion second. So it gives us an ability to actually identify a group rather than just lowest bid. We can identify a group and rank them, and then again, depending on how the money falls out in the ranking, but at least we have some say in that process. So we're looking forward to bringing that information forward to you because we see that as a potential use depending on how much unencumbered funds are available. We have always done reviews of programs or other initiatives, and as I said to Mrs. Kofer when we spoke, because now she's also, we pulled her into our STEM steering committee, we spoke about how this would be a perfect next audit to do for our system. Regardless of what we do at the middle school and high school level, this is always good to have in place. Those projects themselves, if those were to move forward, that would be part of the educational specifications. So that's why those haven't been brought up at this time in terms of energy efficiencies and haven't been fleshed out because, as you all know, you're at a very, 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 very high level analysis of the 2 schools, be it the 2 levels of the high schools and the middle schools. So that's why we haven't landed the plane. We haven't even begun to land. We're still at cruising altitude on that one. So that's why we haven't discussed energy efficiency on those, but that would be part of the next phase that I keep reporting out to parents and community, that once we get the survey done, then the town council would have to determine the next steps, and within that, you would make recommendations as a board that you want energy efficiencies to be considered, you want zero, I forgot the term.
I forgot the
Net
term.
zero, or I'm thinking of zero, I'm thinking of Diet Coke. But the thing is that you want to have that, but that doesn't come until that phase. And then you'd work with your hired contractors or hired engineers to provide some information at that point. So that is on our radar, but we can't thank Ms. Kofer enough for her support and her commitment to this. And I look forward to moving forward with this. I know Mr. Deptula does as well.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yeah, I wanted to agree with you. We met last week. It was a very, very productive meeting. And one other topic that, and I've been talking to various people in town, not only the energy audit, hopefully saving money, but there also is an academic and educational part of this. And I'm in the process, I was under the impression that there's like an energy management associate degree at Tunxus. So like we were doing with advanced manufacturing and with nursing, this could open up the door, because it's going to be a big field. And one of the advantages of this field is that it's very diverse. If you're the kind of person that wants to do hands-on, you can get into this field by installing systems. If you're of the design engineering mindset, you can create new systems and modify existing systems. So it does have, and I was going to ask you after the meeting, we'll talk later about you and I sitting down, but.
No, it sounds great, and I'm going to make sure that Mr. Deptula
Oh, definitely,
is part of the conversation. So, thank you.
I just have a question for Mrs. Kofer. What was you gave us 4 things at the end that you were asking for. What was the second one? I missed that.
Sorry, I have to look.
Start, I think, clear
I'm
energy
sorry.
or.
Give me 1 second. Adopting a clear energy efficiency goal, which is just one step. You know, you start with an audit to know where we are, and then maybe you can get a feasibility study, what is possible in Wallingford. Obviously, we don't have hot springs, we can't do that part of geothermal, but I think underneath all our sports fields and our parking lots, we have so much space. We could do ground loops in a horizontal manner. So there's that kind of feasibility study. And then the board, I think, would need to decide on a goal, finding a balance between where do we want to go and what can we fund. Obviously, that needs some consideration too, but the goal needs to be set before you talk to the engineers and the construction guys and all that.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. At this time, Mrs. Levack.
I make a motion that the board enter into executive session for the purpose of discussion of acceptance of retirements and discussion of acceptance of resignations.
I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. We are now in executive session. We'll stay in here. All right, Mrs. Levack.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion to come out of executive session. Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
No? Motion carried, okay. Thank you, Mrs. Castelli. All right, now we have the consent agenda, and I've been asked to remove 7.1. Do I have a motion then to accept the rest of the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda items 7.2 through 7.20.
Second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstention? Motion carries. Okay, items removed from the consent agenda. I have a motion.
Well, I can't make it because I'm not abstaining.
Somebody make the motion.
I make a motion that we vote, that we accept 7.1
On the consent agenda.
on the consent agenda.
Second.
Somebody second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? We're doing this, Mrs. Levesque?
Yeah, I requested that this be removed because I was not at this meeting, so I'm going to be abstaining from voting on the minutes.
Okay, did we make the motion? We
Mhm. Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? I keep forgetting that word.
And I'll abstain.
Okay, one abstention. Sorry, Mrs. Lavelle, for doing that to you. I'm a little rusty. Okay, correspondence. Mr. Reynolds.
Well, good news and even better news. The good news actually is going to take a while, but that's actually the good news. All right, so we have three, I'd like to thank Chick-fil-A for three separate donations. The first one is in the amount of $5,000 to the sponsorship of the Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy program for the 2018-2019 year. We have another donation of $6,000 for the catering of the Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy program for the same academic year. We'd also like to thank Chick-fil-A for a donation of $1,000 for the catering of the Credit for Life program, 2018 to 2019 school year. We'd also like to thank the Wadsworth Family Foundation for a donation of $1,000 to the Credit for Life program. We'd like to thank the Quinnipiac Chamber of Commerce for a donation of $1,500 to the Credit for Life program. We'd also like to thank the Parks and Recreation Department for the use of their facility to the Credit for Life program. This was valued at $500. We would also like to thank G&G Beverage for a donation of printing services in the amount of $500 to the Credit for Life program. We'd like to thank Masonic Care Health Center's assistant in support of the Wallingford Public Schools IST program for 2018-2019. This is valued at $25,000 and it was made to the Wallingford Adult Education CNA program. I'd like to thank Christopher, I believe it's Poronsky, for his donation of $500 to families in need, the school counseling activity account. We'd also like to thank Art for their donation of a $1,000 grant to the Wallingford Public Schools. Excuse me. And we'd like to thank Country Flower Farms, Paul and Cheryl Schatzman, for the donation of seed packets to the Wallingford Public Elementary Schools pre-K to grade 5 in the Earth Day program. This had a value of $3,355. A ballpark figure, we came in just under $50,000 in donations and gifts. I think we can all say a big thank you.
There was one more.
Oh. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I just pointed out.
Thank you, though. We'd like to thank Promethean World for donating technology valued at $3,927. And that was to the Information Technologies Department. That brings us to a total of just over $49,000.
Excellent.
Anything else?
Nope. I was just going to say at this time, Mr. Votto, thank you very much, Mr. Reynolds. Would we be able to move down to
Read my mind, Dr. Menzo.
Okay, thank you.
I think normally you need to make a motion, but board members, you want to switch committee reports and the instructional committee, correct?
Correct, so we can
Yes.
help our visitors.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll go from correspondence down to number 12, the instructional committee. 12.1, approval of graduation date and last day of school. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you want to do this in a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's approval.
It's the 12th, we're looking at the 12th.
Wednesday, the 12th. I said the 13th earlier, the 12th.
Right. So I make a motion that the board set the last day of school and high school graduation date to be June 12th, 2019.
I second it.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Ross?
I've had a couple people approach me about the graduation date, and they're concerned that it's going to be in the middle of the week. And it's mostly people that are working on project graduation. And a couple of parents, they would prefer to see the last day of graduation Friday for several reasons. One, Friday is party night. It's a good night to have project graduation to keep the kids away from party night. And number two, a lot of the volunteers can't stay up till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. because they have to be at work the next day. So is there any way we can move graduation to a Friday?
I would have to ask our principals because there are a lot of events that are planned that I don't know if parents are aware of because it wouldn't be their role to know about such things as exams and finalizing credits for those students who might be, you know, on the situation where we have to look at their credit bearing being awarded to make sure that they actually do graduate. I think moving it up, because we get out so early, you're now suggesting that graduation would be on Friday, the 7th of June.
No, the other direction.
Oh, after school gets out.
After school gets out. Because we normally have graduation
The
rehearsal.
challenge is, I don't know, we have a tremendous amount of teachers that volunteer or have duties those evenings to graduate. I would have loved if you had this concern, that you brought it to my attention prior tonight so that I could
I just got it this week.
Oh,
to be
well,
honest with you, yeah.
again, I just think that this is a difficult decision. Making it ahead of time is a little bit easier, but now doing it after, we also have committed to, I'm assuming we've committed to all of our rentals.
Right.
I guess I understand the concern, and if you want to table this decision and let us come back to you, we can do that. If you want to table this decision tonight, I'm not willing or able to be able to say move it because there's way too much information that needs to be investigated. So if the board would like to table this and come back and you could do a special board meeting prior to the instructional committee meeting, which would be now May 6th, you would have to do that prior to that meeting at 5:30. That's fine, but I don't feel comfortable making a decision on, I don't feel comfortable I have enough information. I'm looking at the two principals and they're shaking their heads. They don't know. There's a lot that we have to investigate, especially moving it beyond Wednesday the 12th, because again, we have rentals, we have teachers to make sure that we have it, we have staff that does videotape, we have custodial maintenance staff that are lined up. People start vacations. So again, I'm concerned, but I'd be happy to do all that investigation and bring that information back to the board if that's what the board chooses, because I don't want to make it sound like we don't want to do it. I just don't feel like I have enough information because I was just, you know, obviously just made aware of it, and you were just made aware of it recently too.
Mr. Corso had something I think that you wanted to say. Did you?
You want to say something?
So one of the concerns I would have is we have a lot of college visitations already scheduled for students that are graduating. So although we haven't set a date, they are familiar that it's typically the last day of school. A lot of vacation plans, a lot of families already kind of planning to come in. And there's a whole host of other issues that I'd need to investigate, but it would pose some problems, especially because we'd lose control of the student body once we release them, because they would theoretically finish 3 days prior to that with their finals. So we would lose quite a bit of control over the student body, and once they are no longer students, they're hard to get back.
We also were planning to do a special ceremony with our elementary students. We were going to have the high school students this year go to their elementary schools. And have a group of students volunteer to walk the halls and be congratulated as seniors, getting their diplomas by their elementary students. And that wouldn't be able to happen because the last graduation rehearsal would be post the elementary students getting out of school. And it would be difficult, as Mr. Corso said, to have those students do it on Wednesday because we don't give out the cap and gowns until the night of the graduation because just we want to make sure that they still have them that evening. So we avoid giving them out prior to that. So there's a lot of, I understand, I totally get the volunteer piece. I know it's always a challenge because it is an incredible commitment on the part of so many community members. And again, we'll be happy to investigate all these different areas and bring back this information to the board if you choose to have us do so. So it's not like we're closing the door on the idea, it's just we weren't prepared to respond to this.
Mrs. Caselli, you had something?
I just have a lot of concern with moving it at this point. It's nothing we've ever done in the past. We've had other graduations midweek as well. I appreciate the concern, and I think maybe we can look at it for going forward, but I don't think we should try to change it for this year. I think this year needs to be as it is. Like the point I was going to bring up was, I'm sure there's a lot of parents that have already made vacation plans and so forth based on the fact knowing that school is scheduled to stop June 12th, and historically we have never not approved the final day of that's been published. So I couldn't blame parents for assuming it would be approved and moving forward with their plans. So I have a lot of concerns about trying to move it this year.
Ms. Raccio?
Thank you. I agree that there's concerns about changing it at this point in time, but I do understand the concern, Mr. Ross, and I know up in Hartford, there is a legislative act right now in front of everyone allowing the Board of Eds to set a firm graduation date for seniors at the beginning of the year and not have to make up school days that are given off for snow days, exactly for the reason that you're mentioning, that there's so many volunteers. If it was able to be set on a Friday, it would work. But to do that with this short window of notice, it makes it as a mom of a graduating senior, he may be at orientation that weekend. So it does make it a choice. I wouldn't want students to miss graduation because of family vacation or orientation. And that's one of his options for his first orientation weekend.
Thank you. Ms. Purcell?
I spent about 10 years on this committee, actually planning the festivities. And I just want to tell you that we have to book those things months in advance. And if you're going to change from a midweek to like a Friday, which is the most popular time, with less than a month, you're not going to get very many things that you already planned in place. And I also want to remind the board that last year we took away 3 days because we didn't want to change graduation at the last minute because of vacations and people being invited.
Right.
And I just don't think we should do that at this point.
Thank you. Mr. Votto?
I agree with everything that's been said, and I don't think it should be tabled. I think we should make the decision tonight. This date has been out there. Ray, I don't know how many people have talked to you or approached you, but I have a feeling if we change it, we're going to have a lot more people approach us. I really do. We might be opening up a can of worms.
And I was approached at the Sheehan Hall of Fame dinner by one of the people who is coordinating Project Graduation, and I said, graduation's always been the last day of school. I said, I understand volunteers, and this person is a phenomenal person. I mean, she's donating hundreds of hours of her time, and I help her do the survey with all the students on what they want for the activities. So she was hopeful, but she understood. She said, no, I understand. It's always the last day of school. I understand that.
Okay, so we do have a motion. Oh, go ahead.
And when Erin made the motion, she included the last day of school and graduation. Does that make a difference?
No, I think
the last day of school, I would think, means the whole school system, doesn't
well,
it?
it appears that we probably even need to have that clarification tonight more so than we have had in the past. So I think Ms. Corso's motion, if we want to amend it to last day of school and graduation, that might not be a bad idea.
She did say that.
Oh, and you're
That's okay, is what I'm asking. Okay.
So the motion is on the table. It sounds like we're ready to vote on it. So all those in favor of our graduation and last day of school being June 12th, 2019 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
I made a mistake on that. I did see last day of school on there, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so moving forward, we have quite a few retirements to announce tonight. So the first being Matthew Altieri from Mark T. Sheehan High School. So I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Matthew Altieri effective June 30th, 2019. Mr. Altieri has been a high school social studies teacher since August 2002 for a total of 17 years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second it.
Any discussion?
We do have Mr. Zacco here who'd like to say a few words.
Just have a few words prepared in honor of Matt Altieri. Matt Altieri has been a social studies teacher for 35 years. During this time, he has taught at Guilford High School for 18 and the last 17 at Sheehan. Mr. Altieri's passion for teaching social studies is evident in the classroom. He has a natural ability and talent to make whatever topic being studied fun and interesting as he helps guide students to think critically about the subject matter and apply it to their own world. Matt teaches courses such as U.S. History and AP Government and Politics, both of which he has a passion for and develops the same spirit in his students. Matt's interest in politics has even led him to serve as a town council member for 4 years in Cheshire, where he resides. Besides in the classroom, Mr. Altieri has a passion for working and mentoring student athletes on the baseball field as well. Matt has served as the Sheehan varsity baseball coach for an impressive 25 years. He has led the baseball team to 4 state championship titles, during his tenure as the head coach. Most importantly, he has led and developed student athletes who participate, enhancing their athletic skills as well as their character. Over his long career as a baseball coach, Mr. Altieri has earned state recognition for his impressive efforts. These include All-Area and State New Haven Register Coach of the Year in 2001, Connecticut High School Coaches Association Coach of the Year 2015, Connecticut Sports Writers Alliance Coach of the Year in 2016. Here are some thoughts about Mr. Altieri from his colleagues. Matt has dedicated his career to making sure that each student or player that he encounters succeeds at their highest level possible. He continually holds kids accountable, both in the classroom and on the field, and has led it to great success. He has excelled in his role as a head baseball coach at Sheehan over the past 25 years. He has led his team to 4 state championships, guided many players to compete at the collegiate level, and has been recognized by numerous Hall of Fames throughout the state of Connecticut. His leadership and dedication to Sheehan High School will be missed. Another writes, some teachers are good because they love their subject so much that they inspire their students to love the subject as well. And some teachers are good because they care about students and can connect to those students. And Mr. Altieri is a great teacher because he loves his job so much that he inspires his students, but also matches that love of history, AP, government, and politics with the amount he cares about his students. Students know when they have teachers that care about them, like Mr. Altieri, it means a lot to them. It is clear that Matt's influence at Sheehan High School has been left a lasting impact. Upon retirement in June, Matt plans on spending more time with his family. He and his wife Patricia will be spending more time with their 2 children, Matthew, age 30, and Taylor, age 26. His wife Patricia is also an educator, serving as a music teacher at DePaulo Middle School in Southington. And we wish Matt the best of luck on our well-deserved retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so anybody else? Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Next one, I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Linda Cahill effective June 30, 2019. Linda has been a middle school world language teacher since September 2005 for a total of 14 years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Mr. Snyder's here to speak on behalf, and so is Ms. Cahill. She's here.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here to talk about Mrs. Cahill. Ms. Cahill. Linda began her teaching career in 1972. She taught French and Spanish at Westbrook High School for 2 years and then went to Holliston, Mass., where she taught the same subjects for 2.5 years. It was at that point where her career took a pause, and for the next 23 years, Linda had the most important job, which was a stay-at-home mom. And we were just chatting outside before when you were in executive session about all the rides and all the things that came up with it, and being a hockey mom and lacrosse mom, and it was the biggest job in the world, and there was no regret. Her 3 children doing all the tasks that moms do. She went from that important job back to teaching, only this time she had to go through all the recertification items that came up at that time while she was out of the classroom. And for those of you who understand what happened at that time in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot to do, and she certainly did that. So during that time, she spent 1 year at Brantford Middle School and then 1 year at Brantford High School. And then in 2005, she came to Dag Hammarskjöld Middle School, where she has been teaching French and Spanish, and that's where she's been since. Linda's plan is to move to Florida. She has 5 wonderful grandchildren who she absolutely loves and adores, and she'd also like to volunteer in some capacity and continue working with children. She also has a desire to travel in the United States, as there are many places that she wants to see. We wish you all the best, Linda. Thank you for everything you've done.
I have loved teaching in Wallingford. I love the students here. I love the people I work with. So it has made my job not even feel like a job. But it's time now for me to just relax a little bit more.
Sounds good.
So,
Congratulations.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Next, I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Rachel Hechtman effective June 30, 2019. Ms. Hechtman has been a high school science teacher since August 1995 for a total of 24 years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion?
Mr. Corso is here to speak on behalf of Ms.
Yes, unfortunately, Rachel couldn't be here with us tonight. I think the most amazing thing that Rachel brought to our building for the past 24 years was her experience prior to becoming a teacher. We see this quite often in science, not very many other places, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about her career prior to beginning teaching at Lyman Hall. So she did her undergrad degree at UConn with a degree in biology, worked as a research assistant at UConn stores and the health center campuses, as well as at Harvard and Johns Hopkins medical schools for about 10 years. That unique experience has really been beneficial to our students, especially those students who have been pursuing degrees in those fields, and Rachel's been able to kind of coordinate and communicate and educate those students through that process. So we thank Rachel for that. She began teaching, in 1991, she graduated from Quinnipiac with a master's degree, taught in Bridgeport for 3 years before coming to Wallingford, and has spent the last 24 years at Lyman Hall teaching both bio and chem. We are going to miss Rachel. We appreciate everything she's done for the students at Lyman Hall, and bringing that unique background to the teaching field has been beneficial for all of our students. So thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Next, I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of John Hull, effective June 30th, 2019. Mr. Hull has been a middle school and high school math and math intervention teacher since January 1987 for a total of 32 and a half years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion.
And Mr.
See Mr.
Snyder.
Hull, Mr. Snyder.
So Jack began teaching in 1977 at East Catholic High School, where he taught math for 9.5 years. In 1987, Jack came to Wallingford and taught math at Mark T. Sheehan High School for 2.5 years. And then in 1990, Jack came to Dag Hammarskjöld, where he has continued to teach math for the last 30 years. And during that time, he taught 7th grade math until about 4 years ago, when he became our math interventionist. During his time at Dag Hammarskjöld, Jack was a subject area coordinator, boys basketball coach, and coordinated annual Memorial Day events and talent shows. Jack plans on being very busy in retirement. In addition to being an avid golfer and getting his game extra sharp, Jack would eventually like to permanently move to his home in Cape Cod, work part-time, tutor, continue officiating high school lacrosse and soccer, and of course, travel with his wife Wendy, who's here tonight. So, therefore, on behalf of the entire Dag Hammarskjöld Middle School community, we wish both Linda and you, Jack, all the health and happiness that retirement offers, and we truly hope you'll keep in touch with us. A million thank yous to both of you for all that you've done for Dag Hammarskjöld. Thank you.
Just briefly, it's been a great experience being here in Wallingford for 32 and a half years. I've had incredibly supportive administrators all through the years. The students have been outstanding. The staff both at Sheehan and Dag have been just wonderful. And I live in Berlin, but I always have just wonderful things to say about the town of Wallingford and the educational system. And I'll continue to do that. And I'm very grateful that I was able to spend 32 and a half years here in Wallingford. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Hall. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Christine Ritchie, effective June 30, 2019. Christine has been a high school math teacher since September of 2000 for a total of 19 years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion?
Mrs. Ritchie could not be here tonight, but I'll say some words on her behalf. Christine Ritchie's passion for teaching was sparked at an early age when she was by her 3rd grade teacher. She taught high school math for 11 years before leaving to raise her children. During that time, Christine's passion for teaching kept her in the field of education, serving as an adjunct professor at the University of Hartford and Quinnipiac University. Mrs. Ritchie returned to public education in 2000 upon her arrival at Sheehan, where she has served as a math teacher for the past 19 years. Mrs. Ritchie has taught a variety of math courses during her tenure. Her passion and dedication to her students is evident in her classroom instruction as well as in the daily interactions she has with her students, serving as a teacher of mathematics as well as a mentor for her students. Chris has not only served her students in the classroom, but she has worked with Sheehan High School students as a class advisor and as an advisor to the Future Educators Club. As such, she has served as a mentor to future educators attending Sheehan High School. Mrs. Ritchie has also served as a team mentor and cooperating teacher, helping to positively impact student teachers and new teachers just starting in this challenging and rewarding field. Mrs. Ritchie's passion to serve as an adjunct professor continues today, teaching mathematics course at Middlesex Community College, where she is tonight. In fact, she plans on continuing to serve as an adjunct professor upon her conclusion of her 30-year career in public education. In retirement, Christine plans to enjoy time with her family, especially her daughter and son-in-law who lives overseas. Here's a couple of thoughts from her colleagues that they wanted to share. Mrs. Ritchie took me under her wing and helped me to get through my first few years of teaching. She has continued to mentor and support me in every way possible. She has dedicated many years to the students at Sheehan High School, helping them achieve high levels of success in mathematics. She will surely be missed by the Sheehan community. And lastly, one writes, Chris is an extremely organized, highly professional, fiercely dedicated, and she is not afraid to think outside of the box. People are drawn to her wit, her sense of humor, her presence, and most importantly, they are drawn to her because she is a genuine person. It is clear that Mrs. Ritchie has had a lasting impact on her students and colleagues. She will be very missed. Congratulations to Christine Ritchie upon her retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Lynn Simone, effective June 30, 2019. Lynn has been an elementary teacher since August 1992 for a total of 27 years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion.
Tonight we have Ms. Valero, the principal of Pond Hill.
So Lynn couldn't be here tonight, but just wanted to say a couple of things about Mrs. Shimoni. She has been a teacher with Wallingford Public Schools, as you said, since 1992. She taught at Pond Hill all of those years and was in 4th grade for every year except one, which she said was just awful. She's not only served as a teacher, but a friend and a role model to all of her colleagues. One of the things for me that stands out about Lynn is that she always takes the time to get to know each and every student, and she has this way of knowing when they just need somebody to sit and listen and show that they care. And so when I asked one of her students, what can you tell me about Mrs. Shimoni as a teacher? And this student said, she really likes us. And I think that summed up Lynn's career in the words of her student. So we wish Lynn all the best as she continues on her journey in her retirement and gets to spend a lot of time with her grandchildren that she is so in love with. So we wish her all the best in her retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Robin Thurston, effective June 30, 2019. Ms. Thurston has been an elementary art teacher since August 1991 for a total of 28 years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second the motion.
Discussion? Ms. Carlson?
Mrs. Thurston couldn't be here tonight, but I'm happy to speak on her behalf. I am honored to be able to be here this evening to recognize Mrs. Robin Thurston and congratulate her on her upcoming retirement. Mrs. Thurston is undoubtedly an anchor for the Wallingford Public Schools. Robin began her career in Wallingford as an art teacher back in 1991. Since 2010, Moses Y. Beach and Rock Hill have had the dubious distinction of having this resident artist on staff. During the past 8 months, I have been lucky enough to work alongside Robin and witness firsthand her dedication and enthusiasm for teaching and learning. Mrs. Thurston, though split between 2 schools, is a true team player. She can often be found bouncing by staff in the hallways with a cheerful good morning, zipping in and out of the office to accomplish a quick task while stopping for a short conversation with our office staff, or buzzing around with students in her classroom, talking, demonstrating, sharing, teaching all things related to art. Robin's dedication to her craft and her students is present in all that she does. She works tirelessly to create projects that spark joy with students in an effort to ignite a love of creative arts. The Google Doodles were a fan favorite here at Rock Hill. Mrs. Thurston proudly hung student artwork in our school hallways to share their designs with the entire community. While Mrs. Thurston creates wonderful projects for students, one of her biggest claims to fame is our Rock Hill Kiln and her pottery unit. Students get extra art time to work with clay that Robin will fire to become lasting mementos. All you need to do is follow the dusty clay footprints that line our halls, and they will lead you straight to the art room. Though definitely not a fan of our custodians, students rejoice at the opportunities to play with clay to create fantastic pieces of artwork. When it comes to her colleagues, Robin Thurston is thought upon fondly and with great reverence. One staff member stated, "Robin is a cornerstone of the Wallingford Public Schools tradition. Parents beam when they remember their child having Robin as an art teacher. When students speak of the projects they created under her guidance, their pride and love of art is evident. She will be greatly missed by the whole town." Other colleagues' comments include, "When starting my position at Rock Hill, Robin was very welcoming and made me feel right at home. She always has a smile and a positive word for her coworkers as well as her students. Her energy is contagious. Robin is an amazing art educator and colleague. She plans creative and exciting lessons for her students. Robin is dedicated, creative, full of energy and enthusiasm, loves all areas of the arts, and is supportive of her coworkers. Rock Hill will be missing a large part of our community, as she has always been a part of everything that has happened at Rock Hill. She will surely be missed. Robin goes above and beyond for the students at Rock Hill. She provides consistent discipline and a variety of opportunities for students to learn about art. Robin is a wonderful teacher and is always there for a friend or staff member. She is very artistic and creates wonderful projects with her students. An energetic personality, someone who always is ready to try something new and meet the challenge. Fun-loving and lives life to the fullest, cares about her students and ensures they work to their highest potential. It is clear that Mrs. Thurston has had a lasting impact on her students and colleagues. Congratulations to Robin Thurston on her more than 28 years of service and her upcoming retirement in June. We wish her the best of luck on her new adventure. She will certainly be missed.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. And lastly, I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement of Lori Wisbrun, effective June 30, 2019. Lori has been an elementary teacher since August 1993 for a total of 26 years of service in the Wallingford Public Schools.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion.
And Ms. Sagnella, principal of Pontillas, Parker Farms is here with Ms. Whisper. And thank you. That's the challenge of having W as the last name.
I know.
But we appreciate
Waited and she had to. Fred's with her.
So, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us here. Throughout the past 36 years, 26 in Wallingford and 10 in parochial school, countless students' lives have been touched by Lori Wisbrun. Her passion for this profession has led her on this incredible journey. She is so dedicated to her students, their families, our staff, and our whole school community. Lori is involved in several committees at Parker Farms, and she has already begun recruiting her replacements and coaching them into perfection so there isn't a beat missed. Lori is also known, many of her colleagues will share, for being one of the last teachers to leave each day, despite her years of countless experience. This year's class will be her last to have had this wonderful opportunity. Lori's ability to make her students feel special is priceless. Her students shared with me, "You make me feel special when you smile at me, help me when I'm stuck, say good job, tell me don't be nervous, tell me that I did something right or I was close, share to never give up, and tell me to step lively." This class, like so many others in the past, truly has felt the love and passion of that Lori has for teaching. As Lori ends her amazing career, we are so happy for her that she will be able to spend more time doing other things that she loves, like watching the Mets, traveling to baseball stadiums, eating pickles, dilly bars, soup at all times of year, telling stories to her friends about her wonderful son Zach at Wednesday morning breakfast, having a Diet Coke while eating out with Fred or the girls at Friday lunch. And rumor has it she's going to drive up in the Circle next year on Friday lunch and pick them all up, her grade level partners. Lori's a 4th grade teacher, so they're very excited that they'll save a few minutes on lunch because she's going to give them a ride. Lori will be missed greatly at Parker Farms, and we certainly know that no matter how many Jolly Ranchers you have left behind in your desk, Lori, it will never measure up to the impact that you have had on so many of us throughout your time in Wallingford. Congratulations and happy retirement. And your students were very busy the other day at indoor recess putting this together for you.
Thank you. I'm speechless. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I played school forever. I corrected anything I can get my hands on, and I just feel so fortunate that I've had this opportunity to do what I love so much. And I have to say I'm going to miss it, and I'm a little bit sad, but it's time. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you and congratulations. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
So I know something Roxanne always likes to do is she adds up the hours. So I did do that. I'm hoping, I'm not great at math, even though some of you math teachers are out in the audience.
You mean years?
Years.
Oh, what did I say, hours? Yeah, I'm sorry, years. But I came up with 187 and a half years of teacher dedication to the Wallingford system, and that's just amazing. You don't see careers lasting that long in a lot of other professions, which I think speaks volumes to how wonderful teaching is. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you all would like to step out, now would be a good time to do so. I'll have to keep, it's late.
Yeah.
It's a long one. Okay, so approval of acceptance of resignations is next on our agenda. So I'm going to make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the resignation of David Mencher effective May 4th, 2019. Mr. Mencher has been the Director of Food Service since July 31, 2017.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion? Yes?
I would just like to congratulate Mr. Mencher on his next step of his journey. This is a wonderful opportunity. Mr. Mencher is going to become the head of food services at the University of St. Joseph's. And so we're very proud of him that we could have been part of his journey to get there. This is definitely going from the minor league, probably AA, all the way to majors. And so we're very excited for him. We thank him for all his hard work that he's done during his time with us, and helping the food services program really stabilize itself and also grow. So I want to say thank you, David. You have always put in your heart and soul and your creativity, making sure that the students were always at the forefront of your mind, and making sure that everything you dealt with was the center of the plate. So, had to put that in there, Dave. That's a little inside joke. And we have whole muscle chicken meat for certain. And I would only expect that. I'm only down the road, so if you can get me a food pass at St. Joe's, I could do my meals there on the weekend, and I'd be happy to offer advice and feedback. So I you know, anything you can do would be great. But congratulations. We wish you the best. Thank you for your time in Wallingford, because you really did help the program move forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Ron.
I just want to say thank you for everything David has done. I mean, he's only been here less than 2 years, but he really, I think he made it a real good impact. I think it was not the easiest position to be in when he, turning the food services department around. And I think he, when he came here, he had some ideas, and we tried some. Not everything worked, but some of them worked really well. He really accomplished some great things related to the elementary school ordering. We got that automated with the Google Sheets. We did we did some online free and reduced with getting that module implemented. Last year I think we did a lot of trying things, and I think we're seeing the benefit of it this year where our sales are probably up a little over 10% on the meals sold. He did a lot of groundwork on the breakfast program, which I don't think he'll be here to, I know he won't be here to see, but we'll hopefully eventually get to that, and I just wish him, the best over at St. Joe's there. We appreciate what he did for us, and I just feel bad he's probably not going to see some of the benefit of it because things are going in a great direction right now.
Thank you. Mr. Votto.
Yeah, Dave, I would also like to thank you for all your hard work. I think I'm going to miss pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, seriousness, I think those were some of the best reports we've ever gotten. And I've been on the board quite a while. And to see the hard work I think you just put into those pages, it was something. But I wish you luck, and sorry to see you go.
Yes.
Yeah, I too would like to thank you, for what you've done in this very short period of time with the food services has been remarkable. And also one last thing, thanks for smiling when I go up to you and say, "What's cooking?"
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Next, I make a motion that the Board of Education accept with regret the resignation of Amy Bevins, effective May 11, 2019. Amy Bevins has been a special education teacher since August 2017.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, 12.4, Dr. Menzo?
Yes, this is the annual announcement that I have to make regarding non-renewals. So in my capacity as superintendent of schools, I recommend that the Wallingford Board of Education non-renew the teaching contracts of the named individuals on the attached non-renewal list effective at the end of the 2018-19 school year in accordance with the provisions of the Connecticut General Statutes Section 10-151, and that the Board of Education authorize me to furnish written notice of the action. You should know that the above named teachers have been advised that I intend to make this recommendation. If the Board of Education takes action on my recommendation, the teachers have the right under the Connecticut General Statutes, Section 10-151, to request the reasons for the Board of Education's action to non-renew their contracts of employment. Further, I also recommend that I be authorized and instructed to communicate notice of this action by the Board of Education to the affected teachers and to respond for the Board of Education to any appropriate requests that may be forthcoming from the teachers or their representatives as provided in the teacher tenure law.
Thank you, Dr. Menzo. So hearing that, I make a motion that pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes Section 10-151, the Wallingford Board of Education non-renew the teaching contracts of the named individuals on the non-renewal list at the end of the 18-19 school year as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools. I further move that the Superintendent of Schools be directed to communicate this action of the board in writing to the affected teachers, and that the superintendent be authorized to respond on behalf of the board to any requests for a hearing if required by law or for other information which may be forthcoming from the teachers or their representatives pursuant to applicable provisions of the Connecticut General Statutes Section 10-151. And the superintendent be directed that any response for a hearing, if a hearing is required by law, indicate that such hearing is to be before the Board of Education.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Okay, so that's it for instructional committee.
So we have to go
Mr.
back
Votto?
to number 10.
Yeah.
That's correct. I was just looking at
Committee reports.
All right. Gee, I get all this help there. That's great. 10.1, ACES representative, Mrs. Levac.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The ACES Governing Board met on April 11, 2019. The minutes of the March 2019 meeting were approved. Under public participation communication, a moment of silence for governing board member Inez Kelso was observed. Inez recently passed away. ACES was presented with the Bonnie B. Carney Communications Award of Excellence from CABE for a special project, AV, by John Prenz. An ECA student by the name of Remsen won first place in the August Wilson competition for her portrayal of Bernice's monologue from the piano lesson. She will now compete at the next competition level to be held in a theater on Broadway on May 6th. Remsen performed the monologue for the governing board, and her performance was riveting. Under the executive director's report, an update on the Leader Hill renovation project was provided by David Stein of Silver Petrocelli. He indicated that Building B will be finished first, with furniture to be delivered in June. Building B is slated to house approximately 110 Whitney North students. Auto shops, the loading dock, and the gymnasium are still under construction, and slides were shown to the governing board to display the progress that has been made. The project should be finished by the Wednesday after Labor Day. If Building A is not finished on time, the 160 Whitney East and West students would remain in their current building until the project is finished. The John Slade Eli House on 51 Trumbull Street near ECA, which was originally a residence, was purchased as additional space for the Educational Center for the Arts. The building is in a mixed-use commercial zone and is listed as a structure with an existing non-conforming use. Variances are being sought for renovation and expansion. The design has been challenging as it needs to incorporate an elevator and staircases, and this structure falls under the purview of the State Historic Preservation Office. A 5-year lease has been approved by the Board of Regents for the Gateway Community College North Haven campus property to be used as the new site for the Wintergreen Magnet School. The ACES Education Foundation Gala raised $115,000. The governing board approved the filing of the fiscal report subject to audit and the human resources report. The projected end-of-the-year surplus is $305,000 at this time. ACES is transitioning from Wells Fargo to Key Bank for banking needs. Under new business, the governing board approved the following budgets: TEMS, ETS, ECA, ACES International, the governing board, executive director, human resources, fiscal services, ACES Institute, security, assistant executive director for service and marketing and communication. The next ACES governing board meeting is scheduled for May 9th, 2019. There are 71 Wallingford students attending ACES programs.
Thank you. 10.2 WIMS Committee.
So last month's meeting was canceled, and we're supposed to have a meeting Wednesday.
This week.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure that'll be canceled. All right, 10.3. Thank you, Mrs. Latour. School to Career Representative Business Think Tank.
We have a meeting on May 10th. That's scheduled. That's our next meeting.
Okay. Thank you. PTAC update.
We had a meeting well, we didn't have a meeting in April.
Is that the one I went to?
We had, April was canceled, so we had March, which we already talked about, or another point.
That's right.
And so our next meeting is May 21st.
Okay. 10.5, Plan of Conservation Development.
And we're actually under discussion for the date for our next meeting, so probably within the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
Okay, thank you. 10.6, Food Services Strategic Plan Committee.
March, our meeting was canceled due to lack of attendance, and in April, we haven't had a chance to get a committee together due to the short month, so
Okay.
I'm gonna
Thank you.
pass that on to the next director or interim director.
Okay, very good. 10.7, I think Roxanne normally takes those two together, 10.7 and 10.8, stage lighting and the window replacement. Anyway, sir, you do what you gotta do.
Very good. The stage lighting project is complete, and I believe I'll be signing off on that project either this week or next week. Very happy to do that. It's been a long road. If you don't remember what this project was about, it addressed all things that had to do with the stage, except for the stage. So we got new lighting systems, new projection systems, new curtains, Sykes, LED lights, which are major energy saving. Not so much in the light consumption, but those air conditioning systems in the 3 auditoriums that have them are no longer going to be taxed. During a typical show, those units run full bore through the entire event. So not only was this a good project for the students and staff, it was a good project for energy conservation also. It was, I believe I'm not 100% sure where we held the extras to, but extras on this job, I believe, were less than 1%. So this was a good story all the way around. The 4th school window project, we have set up coordination meetings with the schools for Lyman Hall and Highland. I think those are taking place next week, if I'm not mistaken. So that project will be moving forward as soon as we get students graduated and out of school for the year.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for anybody on these committees? Okay, very good. I don't believe we have any old business. Operations Committee. Ms. Levesque.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Special Operations Committee meeting took place on April 1st, 2019. The meeting minutes for March 11, 2019 were approved. The Board of Education financial report for March 2019 and the cafeteria reports for March 2019 were reviewed in committee and accepted. The financial forecast through March 2019 was reviewed with a projected unencumbered balance of $829,081. An unallocated fund balance from a previous year's 1% account in the amount of $45,570, as well as $54,990 from the 1% account for special education tuitions, for a total amount of $100,560 was discussed for potential insurance funding for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. This funding would be contributed to offset increases in self-insurance. The consensus of the Operations Committee was to send the financial report for March, as well as the request for the potential insurance funding, to the full board for approval. The cafeteria financial reports for March were reviewed. The food services year-to-date comparison sheet noted a profit of $14,398. The year-to-date deficit has decreased with a projected break-even budget outcome. Meals served continue to increase, with federal reimbursements increasing as well. Pond Hill will pilot an elementary breakfast program starting on May 1st, and Parker Farms will be working on a vegetable fruit nutrition education program with the school nurse. The elementary 5th grade junior chef cooking competition was successful. A pasta dinner was catered for the Sheehan High School boys basketball team. Additionally, the school lunch directors met in Cheshire for networking ideas and solutions. There was one customer service incident at Sheehan High School which was resolved. Mr. Deptula provided the maintenance facilities update. He noted that E.C. Stevens Elementary School Nature's Classroom project has been completed. This project was made possible with the donation of $9,000 worth of services from Better Cut Tree Service. Finally, a facility study presentation by the independent consulting firm of Malone and McBroom took place. This was the 3rd presentation by this firm to the board. Options were discussed and public input from students and the public ensued. The ultimate goal at this meeting was to finalize the list of options to be used in a survey to the community. The consensus of the Operations Committee was to send the following options with estimated costs to the board for approval for use in the survey to the community. Option 1, status quo with capital improvements to all 4 schools, Lyman Hall High School, Mark T. Sheehan High School, DAG, and Moran Middle Schools, in keeping with the Board of Education's strategic plan for an estimated cost of $15.6 million. Option 3, renovating to new all 4 of the aforementioned schools for an estimated cost of $117.2 million. Option 6, renovation to new and expansion of Lyman Hall High School and renovation to new of DAG and Moran Middle Schools for an estimated cost of $103.5 million. Just keeping in mind that those are all estimates, and these are rough figures moving forward on that.
Very good. 13.2.
Yes. I make a motion to approve exemptions for beverages for the 2019-2020 school year as listed below. The Board of Education will allow the sale to students of beverages not listed in Section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, provided that the following conditions are met. 1, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of the regular school day or on the weekend. 2, the sale is at the location of the event. And 3, the beverages are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice, meeting, or extracurricular activity. The school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held and must be the same place as the beverage sales.
I second it.
Discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Levack. Number 14, new business. I don't believe we have any. Number 15 is the administrative report.
Thank you. I have a couple of an additional donations that did not meet the $500 threshold, so therefore they're not approved by the board, but they are accepted by the superintendent. One was from the Women's Club of North Haven to Pond Hill for school supplies in the amount of $350. Another one was from Crick Software. They donated Clicker 7 assistive technology software, single student use, at the value of $499. Kelly Legassi from Aetna Foundation donated $300 to Mark D. Sheehan High School girls basketball. Monetary donation of $250 from Ion Bank for the Credit for Life program. And Neil's Donuts donated breakfast for the Credit for Life program valued at $100. So I just wanted to share those with the Board of Education. Just some noteworthy things coming up. Tomorrow night we have the townwide spelling bee, which I will be a judge at.
Where is that?
I believe the
DAG?
spelling tomorrow night is at DAG,
DAG, right.
if I'm not mistaken. We have the Wallingford Education Foundation dinner this next Friday evening at Zandri's. This Friday afternoon at lunchtime we have the SCASA Awards, the South Central Association of School Superintendents or School Administrators. The Leadership Awards, which you'll recognize those students next month with many, many other students at our board meeting at the end of May. We have the essay contest for Rotary Club coming up as well over the next couple of weeks. Peter Pan at Lyman Hall, I think that Audrey might have mentioned this, the weekend of the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th of May. That'll be shown at Lyman Hall, and I'm sure that'll be a great show. This Wednesday, we're bringing students from both Sheen and Lyman Hall to the state capitol for Manufacturing Day. So we're bringing groups of boys and girls up to the Capitol to hear some conversation about advanced manufacturing in the state as we move forward with our continued work in that area. In the same vein, Wallingford was part of a Workforce Alliance grant. Workforce Alliance New Haven, Workforce Alliance was the Workforce Alliance in the state that received $3.5 million to help generate skill-up programs for students that have already graduated high school, adult learners, but then also I was fortunate to be asked to write the portion with them on the in-school program. So Wallingford, as well as 4 other districts, have been named in that grant, and I have a meeting tomorrow to determine how the funds will be allocated to help increase workforce development in our high schools at both Lyman Hall and Sheehan. So more information to follow on that. That's a 3-year grant, not $3.5 million each year, but it's $3.5 million over 3 years, of which there'll be money to allow our workforce development to continue. We also, just to remind everybody, on Thursday evening, we'll be doing a command performance of the budget for the town council. Be their opportunity to ask us questions. That begins at 6:30. The first is Board of Education, and then we have food services on that agenda. So that is at 6:30 this Thursday evening. And then the town council will set its motions for the budget on Thursday, May 9th. They do that the Thursday prior to the Tuesday town council meeting, the regularly scheduled town council meeting, which is May 14th, at which time the town's budget is voted on and officially approved. So the significant dates coming up again are this Thursday, the 25th, 6:30 here for the Board of Ed's budget presentation. Then May 9th, Town Council sets its motions because they have to have time to post them, because they have to do it as a posting in the newspaper. And then the actual vote on the budget will be May 14th, Tuesday, May 14th. So those are just some of the highlights. We've had a lot going on. In lieu of our business think tank meeting, this month we're actually having a business meeting with a group called Thomas Net, which is a national advanced manufacturing group that does marketing for advanced manufacturers. We've been asked to meet with them, so we've developed a meeting with our local businesses to meet with them to share our story as we work to continue to help business in town, as well as help prepare our students for the future. We're very excited about this opportunity because there's a national blog that they put out, and we're hopefully will be highlighted, or trying to recommend that they highlight us in the blog, and not us, meaning the school district, or us personally, but the town of Wallingford. The key is that we're working to make our students better prepared for the future, but also making our town a town in which our students would want to live in the future. So those two things go very closely hand in hand. So we're fortunate that I know that there's a variety of recognition that the town has gotten through the hard work of Tim Ryan in his office. He's an exceptional leader in terms of economic development. So those are just some of the highlights. We will continue to keep you posted. But as I said earlier, there's now 36 days of school left, and believe me, they are packed with every award ceremony you can think of, which are great experiences and great opportunities, but a tremendous amount needs to get done in a short amount of time. So buckle up.
Thank you, Dr. Menzo. Number 16, we have announcements. Thursday, April 25th, Special Board of Education meeting, 5:15, Town Hall, room 315. So far, that's on. 16.2, Thursday, May 2nd, Special Board of Ed meeting, 5 o'clock, Board of Ed Conference Room and South Turnpike Road. Monday, May 6th, Instructional Committee, 6:30, Board of Education Conference Room. Monday, May 13th, Operations Committee, Board of Education Conference Room, 6:30. Our next regular board meeting will be held on Monday, May 20th at DAG, Middle School Auditorium at 6:30. Are there any other questions? No, this meeting is adjourned.